Hello everyone, welcome to Prompt Engineering course, and in this course we will be discussing everything you need to know about prompt engineering. So what is prompt engineering? You can imagine yourself as a chef at a fancy restaurant. You have all the ingredients at your disposal, but without clear instructions, that delicious dish you envisioned might turn out quite strange. In the world of AI, prompts act like those instructions, guiding large language models to create content that you desire. So, prompt engineering is basically using the most of your LLMs. It is basically about making the most of it. The better your prompts, the better the results you get. Because LLMs are capable of a lot of things, but they need clear instructions. Unless you give them that clear instruction, there would be something lacking. But not to worry, we will discuss that in this course. We will take care of what needs to be asked to LLM to get that perfect answer. But how do we do that? We do that by asking a prompt. We pass a prompt to the LLM. Now, what is a prompt? A prompt is a piece of text that instructs an LLM how to complete a task. It can be a simple question, a detailed command, or even a conversation history. The key is to provide the LLM with enough context and information to understand what you want it to do. Here are some examples of prompts. Simple question: what is the capital of France? But a detailed command could be: write a poem about a robot falling in love with a human in the style of Shakespeare. Right? It could be a simple question. It could be a complex question. Depends on what you want to know. If you just want to know the capital of France, a simple question would work. But if you want to write a poetry in Shakespeare's tone, then you have to give in details, right? If you want to set a scene and make the poetry a lot more dramatic, you can give that. You can give those details in that prompt. So let's say the user says, I'm feeling overwhelmed by the to-do list. Then the prompt could be, acting as a productivity assistant, don't worry, I can help. Let's prioritize your task and create a schedule that works for you. Right? So it's basically understanding the user's needs and giving the answer. So if the user has a list and the user is not sure what they want to do, so LLM should be capable of guiding them through it. It should be an easy flowing conversation, right? But that is something really advanced. Initially, your LLM will have certain knowledge, but you will have to tell it how to use that knowledge. That is prompt engineering. You tell the assistant that how it should be behaving, how it should be acting. That is prompt engineering. If you want your prompts to be formal in tone, you can tell that. If you want it to be informal, if you want your robot to talk like, maybe your LLM to talk like a Shakespeare, or maybe you want it to talk like pirate, you have to tell that. You have to tell the tone, you will have to tell how helpful it needs to be, the things it needs to take in mind. All those things you'll have to specify. And all these things which you're specifying is nothing but a prompt. Right? So that is prompt. Now, why do we need prompt engineering? Why is prompt engineering important? Prompt engineering is the art of crafting effective prompts. Just like a chef needs that right recipe, LLM needs what designed prompts to produce the best results. Okay, so you need to provide a good prompt so that the LLM can follow the instructions and give you the correct answer. Everything what you need. Because let's say I ask LLM to do maths and give me answer to a mathematical equation. LLM is not good at mathematics, so it may give me some random answer. But if you ask it to actually perform the operations and give me the result, if you instruct it to actually go through each and every operation to solve that equation, then you will get a correct answer. So it is basically how you emphasize on the task in hand, right? That is why we need prompt engineering, because not everyone can be clear enough. You need to specify things in great detail so that you get those kind of answers. If you give something very top level, if you just tell it that give me a recipe including mushrooms, then it might give you a recipe. But if you want it to be a very specific thing, maybe I want a different mushroom curry which has some coriander or some specific spices, I need to specify that, right? So that is why we need prompt engineering, to actually know that how to tell LLM what we want from it. Okay, now the importance is that it will allow us to actually get the accuracy and control. A good prompt steers the LLM in the right direction, ensuring the information it generates is accurate and relevant to your needs. Then it provides style and creativity. Prompts can influence the style and tone of the LLM's output. If you want a funny story, if you want to craft a prompt with a humorous slant, you need a formal report, you want to use more serious or objective tone, then this is what we can get from prompt engineering. If you want efficiency, you can basically give effective prompts which can save your time and effort. The more specific your instructions are, the less likely you are to get irrelevant or nonsensical outputs from the LLM, right? So basically, in essence, prompt engineering is the bridge between you and the vast potential of LLM. By understanding how to craft effective prompts, you can unlock a world of creative possibilities and get the most out of these powerful language models. Now, what will we be using for this? And how does it really matter? We will be using Llama 2. Now, Llama 2, okay, but what is Llama 2? Llama 2 is a collection of large language models developed by Meta. These AI models are trained on massive amount of text data, allowing them to generate text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, and answer your questions in an informative way. Now, what is it? It is a family of LLMs ranging from 7 billion to 70 billion parameters in size. More parameters generally indicate a more powerful model. And what is it used for? Llama 2 is particularly strong in dialogue applications. Thanks to the Llama 2 chat versions, these are fine-tuned LLMs specifically designed for chat conversations. You can use them for tasks like creating chatbots, building virtual assistants, or even having interesting back and forth discussions. So, why are we choosing Llama 2? So, let me give you a quick comparison of Llama 2 with the other big players in LLM world. One is OpenAI. Now, OpenAI is a prominent developer of LLMs. With well-known models like GPT-3, both OpenAI and Llama 2 offer powerful LLMs with strong text generation capabilities. However, Llama 2 chats focus on dialogue applications, and they might make a better choice for chatbots or virtual assistants, right? So, if you want to make a chatbot for yourself or a virtual assistant, you might go towards Llama 2. Another thing is that Llama 2 is free to use, so you can set it up in your system itself. while in case of OpenAI, you cannot make much modifications and you will have to pay for it. You will have to take a subscription and you will have to use their APIs, right? So a little difficult. So it's better to prefer Llama 2 here. Next thing, Gemini. Now, as a large language model, Gemini shares many similarities with Llama 2, and they both generate different creative text formats, translate languages, and answer questions in an informative way. However, there might be some underlying technical differences in the training data and architecture, which could lead to subtle variations in the output. But again, in case of Gemini, as of now, it is free to use, but from May 2024, there would be certain changes and you will have to have a maybe pay as you go kind of a subscription. So if you're willing to do that, you can use Gemini also. There is no restriction in usage of OpenAI, Gemini, Llama 2. Just open their documentation and you will be able to get their keys and then you will be able to make use of them. That is not a big issue. If you want to use those, you can do that. But in this course, we will be using Llama 2 because it is free of cost.